it's been 2 years since I've been living in my tiny house, and I think it's time for an update. I put a post on my YouTube channel this week asking persons if they had any questions about my tiny house, life in Belize in general, just things that you wanted to know. And I got a few questions. If you see me looking this way, it's because I have my laptop in front of me with all of the questions. And so I'm going to answer the questions and give you some updates. Thank you to everyone who took the time to send me a question. As I was getting the questions and reading them, my heart just felt so warm and I was so grateful. So thank you so much for your questions. And without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first question says, "Hi Jamie, I enjoy watching your tiny home videos." Thank you. Thank you so much. "Are there any improvements you want to make to your tiny house?" I do have a few improvements or adjustments or additions, whatever you want to call it, that I plan on doing and starting this month. Actually, at the end of this month, um, I'm gonna be swapping out some of my windows. The area where I live has really good airflow. It's so breezy and windy, mostly because there are lots of trees. There's barely any buildings in this area. And so I want, I want as much of that airflow to be coming into the tiny house as possible. So I am swapping out my windows in my living room. I'll be filming that and sharing that with you, especially if I'm really happy with them. And I have a few other updates. I'm gonna be also installing a driveway. I've already bought the pavers, the river stones. I'm also gonna be installing a fence. It took me a while to decide on what kind of fence I wanted. I did some research and I was actually talking to the architect that designed my home, and she found this alternative that I'm very excited about. And when the time comes for me to do that, I will definitely share. But yeah, I do want to make the house as me and as comfortable as possible. So I have plenty of plans. It's just I have to make sure that my my bank account aligns with all the things that I want to do. But yeah, definitely. This person asks, "Is this your forever home? Would you consider expanding? Any changes you're considering doing?" Thank you for your question. This is my forever home. Even if I do get married or if I move to a different country, I'm always going to keep the tiny house because this is an extension of me. This is a product of my love and for sustainability and to create something that is a reflection of my personality and my character and things that I like. So I definitely see the tiny house, as my forever home. I actually really want to name my tiny house, but nothing has really stuck out to me as yet. But yes, this is my forever home. This person asks, "Have you noticed a significant change in the cost of building from when you did to now?" That's a really good question because obviously, I think I said this to my mom the other day. The 2025 prices are definitely not 2024 prices and definitely not 2022 prices. So, for sure, the cost of everything has gone up. The price of eggs has gone up. So, yeah, for sure. But I will say there are ways to hack the system and still, build and have something for yourself that won't break the bank. I think you just have to make sure you talk to the right people, get a really good architect, get a really honest contractor, and a really good project manager. Your project manager is going to be a game changer when you go through the building process because that person will look out for you in terms of your budget, making sure you keep to your timelines. So yeah, if you are planning on building a home and you're not sure, just make sure you hire a really good project manager. And if I do say so myself, I would recommend the architect slash project manager that worked with me. Her name is Marlene Flores-Ailyani. I will leave her information in the description box below. So this person says, "Hey Jamie, I've been such a huge fan of your content and I'm really proud of all the growth you've achieved." Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I was just curious. How are you able to maintain your lifestyle? Are you monetized on YouTube? Do you have another way you're balancing everything? Would love to know more. Kiona, thank you so much for your question. Um, I work full time. I think I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos. I work for the University of the West Indies. So I work full time there from Monday to Friday. I am monetized on YouTube, but the money that I make from YouTube is pennies. It's not a lot because I have a very small channel, and it's not my goal to make a lot of money on YouTube. It's not my life plan to be a YouTuber. I just really created this channel during the pandemic because, we were all at home, and I thought it would be good to share what it was living like in Barbados at the time. Now I live in Belize, and I'm happy to share what living in Belize is like, building a tiny home. So financially, YouTube I'm not supported by the money I make on YouTube. It's very, very little. So yeah, I work full time, and that's how I maintain my lifestyle. Thankfully, I have a really good job at the university, and I don't see myself switching careers anytime soon. But thank you for that question. All right, so the next person asks, when are you having another soiree so we can come over and see the updates in person? This is definitely from my friend, actually, my friend Shannon. She told me she sent in a question. Thank you, Shannon, for your question. I am so bad at having friends over. I am born in July, so that means I'm a Cancer, which means I'm a crab. I'm a little hermit that likes to be at home by myself and with my babies. I have 2 dogs, which they are the love of my life, my pride and my joy. But I have to be better at having friends over. The whole reason I have a deck is because I want to have my friends over, and I have this huge yard space and have barbecues and family things. I have to get better at that, and I will definitely this year. I will. Fingers crossed. All right, this next person asks, what have you been working on other than your house, and how have you been? I love that question. Thank you for asking how I've been. I've been really good, and I've been working on quite a few things. I'm learning how to play the drums. I have lessons every Tuesdays. I am horrible, but I'm getting there, and I really enjoy it. I have been traveling, going to new places, seeing new things. I have a few trips planned this year that I'm excited about. I work a lot with my church. I'm very active in my church. I play in a steel pan orchestra, and that keeps me busy as well. I recently got accepted to do doctoral studies in leadership from 2 different universities, and so I'm going to be starting that this year. Once I decide where I'm going, but I have an idea. I'm pretty firm on an idea of where I'm choosing to eat. I'm always experimenting in the kitchen. I'm starting a small business. I don't want to say too much on that, but it's already registered at the company's registry. I'm very excited, and as soon as I have it up and running, maybe I can document that journey. But yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot going on. It's my little ADHD brain. I can't stay still. So there's tons happening, and I've been really content and happy in my life here in Belize. So yeah, I've been very good, and I have a lot going on. Okay, so this person asks, why did you choose the material used to build your home given the frequency of hurricanes? It's common for Belizeans to build cement houses. This is a really good question. I always knew I did not want a cement house because in my head, if you build a cement house, you're building a larger structure, and I didn't want something that was big. I wanted something small, and when I did my research into tiny homes are usually built with metal or wood. When I was doing the comparison between metal and wood, looking at which one would last longer, which one would be more cost effective, the metal came out to be way more affordable, and it's going to last pretty much forever. When I was talking to the owner, Mr. Wall of Coop Sheet Metal, where I got the metal from, he was saying that in order to maintain the metal, maybe after a couple decades, I may need to do a coat of paint. But that's only if I see erosion or rust, which is very rare. Even though I'm close to the sea, I don't really get saltwater residue anywhere. So that's why I chose metal. And my tiny house is actually designed to withstand up to a category 2 hurricane. It was it 2022 that it was Hurricane Lisa. That was a category 1, but it did a lot of damage. It was so sad in Belize City. Many people lost their roofs. A lot of trees were uprooted. There was a mango tree in the yard where my parents are, and that tree was completely uprooted after being there for decades and decades. But my tiny house was fine. I didn't have any flooding in this area. Nothing came off. The deck was fine. Nothing happened to the tiny house. Absolutely nothing. So I think it all depends on your intentionality, because I know that I live in a hurricane prone country. So I did work with my architect and my contractor to make sure that the tiny house would withstand that kind of weather. I have hurricane straps on my roof. I'm in an area that's above sea level. So yeah, I took the necessary precautions to make sure that the house can withstand inclement weather, especially hurricanes. So thanks for that question. Okay, final question. Hi Jamie, I'm glad to see you back on YouTube. I plan to be in Belize in another year, and I wanted to know what area or city is best to move to. Belize is nice. I like Belize because obviously this is my home. It's more affordable than a lot of the countries in the Caribbean region and maybe in Central America even. If you plan to move to Belize, I think it depends on your personality, what you're into, what's your vibe. If you're very laid back, very chill, maybe even a hippie, you may want to consider Cayo. Cayo is west. Maybe you could be based inland in Belmopan, and you'll have access to little towns like Santa Elena, San Ignacio. They have really good food, lots of hiking, mountain. The Mountain Pine Ridge area is out that side. A lot of wildlife. That might be your vibe. Or if you're into that island life, you may want to consider the Keys. The Keys are really expensive though, so that might depend on your budget, what kind of budget you have. The Keys compared to Belize City or anywhere else on the mainland is a lot more expensive because they have to do more importing, obviously, because it's a little island off the coast. If San Pedro or Key Cocker. Or you may want to stay in Belize City. Belize City is good because you have access to a lot. A lot is based in Belize City. I don't live in Belize City, but I go to Belize City a lot in order to access things. My family lives in Belize City. So I wouldn't knock Belize City. Some people will say that it's not safe, but I think everywhere you go, you just have to be smart about how you move, how you travel. And a lot of the unsafe activities kind of concentrated in specific areas. If you're doing very illegal things, you may be subject to that unsafe activity. But I think in general, Belize City can be pretty safe and a good hub, and it's close to the airport. Or you could choose down south. Placencia is half mainland, half island vibes. It's a peninsula off the south coast, off the coast in the south. It can be quite expensive in Placencia as well, depending, but definitely not as expensive as one of the Keys, San Pedro or Key Cocker. So there are lots of options. I think it just depends on your vibe. So I think when you come, you can move around and see what fits your vibe. Maybe I can do an entirely separate video on life in Belize and living in the different areas. Maybe I can do some interviews. Those are all the questions that I got. Thank you so much again to everybody who took the time to write me and send me a question. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to share with you all of the new things that I have planned for the house. I have quite a few things planned, and I'm definitely going to try to be better at filming it. And even if I don't film long form videos, I will try to be better at also filming shorts, YouTube shorts. So look out for that. All right, that's it from me today, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.